I was halfway through reviewing a client proposal when my phone started buzzing. Not just once, 3 times in under a minute. First message was from Connor, my buddy from college. Just a screenshot with 3 question marks. Then Garrett sent the same image with "Dude, seriously?" And then my cousin Hudson forwarded it with "Please tell me this isn't what I think it is." I opened the image and felt my jaw tighten. There she was, my wife. Well, soon-to-be ex-wife. Standing in front of a jewelry store display case, holding up a diamond bracelet, huge smile on her face. The caption read, "Treating myself. New jewelry spree," followed by about 6 gem emojis and a credit card emoji. That alone would have been annoying. We were separated. She could buy whatever she wanted with her own money. But then I saw the comments. Her friend Mackenzie wrote, "You deserve it, girl. Spend that money." She replied, "Oh, I am. Joint account is coming through today." I stared at that comment for a solid 10 seconds. Joint account. The account we both agreed not to touch. The account that was specifically mentioned in our separation agreement. The account we were supposed to leave alone until the divorce was finalized and we could split it properly. I switched over to my banking app. Took about 30 seconds to load, which felt like 30 minutes. When it finally opened, I went straight to the joint account. 3 transactions. All from today. All from the same high-end jewelry store downtown. $1,200, $850, $2,100, $4,000 in one morning. I sat back in my chair and just breathed for a minute. Part of me wanted to call her right then, demand to know what she was thinking. But I have learned over the years that angry reactions rarely go well. She would twist it, make me the bad guy, say I was controlling or bitter or whatever other excuse she could come up with. No, this required a different approach. I pulled up the separation agreement on my laptop, found the section about finances, read it twice to make sure I was not misremembering anything. There it was. Page 4. Section 7. Both parties agree to refrain from accessing joint accounts without written consent from the other party until dissolution of marriage is complete. She signed it. I signed it. Our lawyers witnessed it. And now she was posting about violating it on social media for everyone to see. My phone buzzed again. This time it was a call from my brother Elliot. "You seeing this?" he asked before I could even say hello. "Yeah, I am seeing it. What are you going to do?" "Not sure yet, but it needs to be smart, not emotional." "You want me to call her?" "Because I will absolutely call her." I smiled despite myself. Elliot always had my back, but this was not his fight. "No, I got this. But thanks." After we hung up, I went back to her social media. She had posted 3 more photos. One with shopping bags. One trying on a necklace. One with her friends gathered around admiring everything she bought. Every single photo had dozens of likes and comments. People congratulating her, telling her she deserved to be happy, calling her strong and independent. Nobody knew she was spending money she agreed not to touch. Nobody knew this was coming from an account that was supposed to be frozen by mutual agreement. I took screenshots of everything. The posts, the comments, her exact words about using the joint account. Then I checked the bank transactions again and took screenshots of those too. By the time I was done, I had a pretty solid paper trail of someone breaking a legal agreement and broadcasting it to the world. My coworker Silas stuck his head in my office. "You good? You have been staring at your phone for like 20 minutes. "Yeah, just dealing with some personal stuff. Anything I can help with?" "Not unless you know a good way to deal with someone who thinks rules do not apply to them." He laughed. "My ex-wife was like that. Best advice I can give you is document everything and let her dig her own grave." After he left, I sat there thinking about that. Let her dig her own grave. That was exactly what she was doing. Every post, every comment, every transaction. She was building a case against herself and did not even realize it. I opened my contacts and found my lawyer. Typed out a message. "Need to meet ASAP. She violated the separation agreement. Have proof." Response came back in less than 5 minutes. Tuesday morning, 9 o'clock. "Bring everything you have." I leaned back in my chair and finally let myself relax a little. This was not going to be a screaming match. This was not going to be me begging her to do the right thing. This was going to be consequences. She made a choice. She decided that agreement we both signed meant nothing. She decided to flaunt it publicly like some kind of victory. Fine. Let her have her moment. Let her enjoy those bracelets and necklaces and whatever else she bought. Because in about 3 days, when I walked into that lawyer's office with a folder full of evidence, her little shopping spree was going to become the most expensive mistake she ever made. My phone buzzed one more time. Another friend sending me the post. I did not even open it. I had seen enough. I closed the banking app, closed social media, put my phone face down on the desk, and got back to work. Because unlike her, I still had priorities that actually mattered. Tuesday morning came faster than I expected. I showed up at my lawyer's office 15 minutes early with a folder that had gotten pretty thick over the weekend. Screenshots, bank statements, the separation agreement, even a few printed copies of her social media posts in case the digital versions somehow disappeared. Gregory Thornton was not the cheapest attorney in town, but he was thorough. When I walked into his office, he already had my file open on his desk. "Show me what you have," he said, skipping the small talk entirely. I laid everything out, started with the agreement, then showed him the bank transactions, then pulled up her posts on my phone. He studied each piece carefully, did not say anything for a solid 2 minutes, just examined everything like he was building a puzzle in his head. Finally, he leaned back and almost smiled. "She really posted this publicly?" "Yep, tagged the store and everything." "And the account was specifically mentioned in your separation agreement?" Page 4, Section 7. Both are signatures at the bottom. He tapped his pen on the desk. "This is either incredibly stupid or incredibly arrogant. Maybe both. So what can we do about it?" Gregory pulled out a legal pad and started writing. "Several things. First, we document everything you just showed me in an official filing. Second, we request an emergency hearing to address the violation. Third, and this is the important part, we contact the bank about freezing her access based on the breach." "Can we do that?" "Just freeze her out. You both signed an agreement saying neither party would access the account. She violated that agreement. The bank has a legal document showing she is not supposed to be using those funds. They will absolutely restrict her access if we present this properly." I felt something close to satisfaction settle in my chest. Not revenge exactly, just the calm that comes from knowing consequences were finally going to match actions. How long does this take? Bank can move fast if we present it right. I can have our paralegal draft a letter today, courier it over with copies of the agreement and evidence. If we are lucky, they will process it by end of week. And if we are not lucky, then it takes until Monday. Either way, she will not have access much longer. I nodded. "What about the divorce itself? Does this change anything?" Gregory flipped through some pages in my file. "It strengthens your position significantly. Judges do not look kindly on people who violate agreements they signed, especially when they brag about it online. This shows a pattern of disrespect for legal proceedings." "Good. One more thing," he said, leaning forward. "Does she know you are taking action on this?" "No. I have not said a word to her." "Keep it that way. Let her think she got away with it. Let her keep spending if she wants. Every transaction is more evidence." I left his office feeling lighter than I had in weeks. For the first time since this separation started, I was not reacting. I was planning, and she had no idea what was coming. The rest of Tuesday was quiet. I went to work, had lunch with Silas, answered emails. Normal day. My phone stayed silent. No calls from her. No messages. Nothing. Wednesday was the same. She posted a photo of herself wearing one of the bracelets she bought. Caption was something about new beginnings and loving myself first. The comments were predictable. Everyone telling her how strong she was, how she glowed, how she deserved happiness. I did not comment, did not like it, did not even react. Just took another screenshot and added it to the folder. Thursday afternoon, Gregory called. "Bank got the letter. They are reviewing it now. Should have an answer by tomorrow morning." That fast. I know someone in their legal department. Called in a favor. They are taking this seriously. Friday morning, I was making coffee when my phone rang. Gregory again. "It is done. Her access is restricted effective immediately. Any cards tied to that account will decline as of about 20 minutes ago." I set down my coffee mug. She knows yet? Probably not. Unless she has tried to use a card this morning. She is going shopping today. Her friend posted about it last night. Some kind of girls' day thing at the outlets. There was a pause on his end, then a sound that might have been a laugh. Well, she is going to find out soon enough then. After we hung up, I sat at my kitchen table and just existed in the moment. I was not celebrating, was not gloating, just calm. She made a choice, a deliberate, public choice to ignore an agreement she signed. And now there were consequences for that choice. My phone started buzzing around 11:30. 3 calls in a row, all from her. I let every single one go to voicemail. Then the text started. Why are my cards declining? What did you do? This is ridiculous. Call me now. You cannot just cut me off from our money. I read each one. Did not respond to any of them. Around noon, she called again. This time I answered. What is going on? Her voice was sharp, angry but trying to sound controlled. You tell me. My cards are not working. None of them. Did you do something? I did not do anything. But the bank did. What are you talking about? The separation agreement. Page 4. Section 7. Remember that. Silence. You signed it. I continued. Agreed not to access the joint account. Then you spent $4,000 and posted about it online. That was my money too. No, that was our money that we both agreed not to touch. You broke the agreement. So I showed the bank proof that you broke the agreement. They restricted your access. You cannot do that. Already done. Take it up with your lawyer if you want. But you might want to read the document you signed before you waste more money on legal fees. She started to say something else, but I hung up. 3 more calls came through over the next hour. I ignored all of them. By evening, my brother Elliot texted me. Just saw her post. She is saying you are financially abusing her, blocking her from money she needs. I smiled at that. Of course she was spinning it that way. Did she mention the agreement she violated? Nope. Just playing victim. Let her. Everyone who matters knows the truth. And that was the thing. The people who actually knew what happened, who saw the original posts about her spending spree, they were not buying the news story. She had shown everyone exactly who she was. And now she was mad that there were consequences. I poured myself a drink, sat on my back porch, and watched the sun go down. Tomorrow was Saturday. She had planned another shopping trip according to her calendar that I could still access through our shared account we set up years ago for scheduling. This one was going to be interesting, because this time, she would not just be embarrassed in front of her friends. This time, she would have to explain why none of her cards worked while everyone watched. Saturday morning started with a notification on my phone. She had posted a story at 9:15. Her and 3 friends standing in front of Mackenzie's car, all dressed up, huge smiles. Caption said, Princess Day at the outlets. Watch out credit cards. I was drinking coffee on my couch when I saw it. Almost felt bad for about half a second. Then I remembered her laughing in those posts from last week. Remembered her bragging about spending joint account money. Remembered every dismissive comment she made during our last few conversations. The bad feeling disappeared pretty quick. Around 10:30, my phone lit up with a notification from the bank app. Transaction attempt denied. Another one 2 minutes later. Denied. Then 3 more in quick succession. All denied. She was trying everything. Different cards. Different amounts. Nothing was going through. I set my phone on the coffee table and turned on a basketball game. Checked the score. Grabbed some lunch. Just a normal Saturday. My phone started ringing at 11:45. Her number. I let it ring. Voicemail notification popped up. I deleted it without listening. Text message came through at noon. This is humiliating. My friends are here. Fix this now. I typed back one sentence. Read the agreement you signed. 3 dots appeared immediately. Disappeared. Appeared again. Then nothing. Around 12:30, my buddy Connor called. Dude, your wife just posted the most insane story. Yeah, she is losing it. Saying you are controlling and abusive. That you cut off all her money without warning. Her friends are all in the comments taking her side. Did she mention why the money got cut off? Nope. Just that you did it to punish her for leaving. Interesting story. Not accurate, but interesting. Connor laughed. You good though? You sound pretty calm about this. I am calm. She violated a legal agreement we both signed. There are consequences. That is how agreements work. Fair enough. Just wanted to make sure you were not about to do something crazy. Nope. Already did what I needed to do. Now I am just watching basketball. After we hung up, I did check her social media. The post Connor mentioned was there. Long paragraph about financial abuse and control. About how hard it was to escape a manipulative relationship. How she was being punished for choosing herself. The comments were split. Her close friends were supporting her completely. But other people who saw the original jewelry posts, were asking questions. One comment from someone named Autumn said, wait, did not you just post about a huge shopping spree last week? Another from Blake said, this is the same account you said you were using for jewelry, right? She was not responding to those comments. Just to the ones calling me terrible and telling her to stay strong. My phone rang again. This time it was my mom. Your father and I just saw what she posted. Are you okay? I am fine, Mom. She is just upset that actions have consequences. Well, her mother called me. She was very worked up. Said you were being cruel. I took a breath. Did she tell you that her daughter violated our separation agreement? That she spent $4,000 from an account we both agreed not to touch? That she posted about it online? Mom was quiet for a second. No, she did not mention that part. Figures. Look, I have documentation of everything. My lawyer handled it properly. If she wants to play victim on social media, that is her choice. But the facts are pretty clear. Good. Because honestly, after everything she put you through, I think you have been more than fair. We talked for a few more minutes. She told me Dad was proud of how I was handling things. That made me feel better than I expected it to. Around 2 o'clock, I got a text from an unknown number. This is Mackenzie. What you are doing to her is disgusting. She is crying in my car right now because of you. I stared at that for a minute. Mackenzie, the same friend who commented on the original post telling her to spend the money, who was right there cheering her on while she violated our agreement. I typed back. She cried when she spent $4,000 from an account she promised not to touch too, or just when there were consequences. No response to that one. My cousin Hudson called around 3. Hey, so her dad just called my dad. Apparently, they want to have some kind of family meeting. Work this out like adults. Work what out? She broke an agreement. I enforced it. There is nothing to work out. That is what I told them. But they are pretty insistent. Keep saying you are being unreasonable. Hudson, she posted about violating a legal document on social media for everyone to see. And now she is mad that it caught up with her. That is not me being unreasonable. That is her facing basic consequences. I know, man. I am on your side. Just giving you a heads up that they are making noise. After that call, I turned off my phone for a while. Just watched the game. Made dinner. Cleaned up the kitchen. Normal stuff. When I turned my phone back on around 7, there were 14 missed calls. 9 from her. 3 from unknown numbers. 2 from her mother. There were also about 30 text messages. Most from her. Some from her friends. A few from family members I had not talked to in years, suddenly very concerned about the situation. I scrolled through them. Lots of accusations. Lots of demands that I fix this immediately. Lots of threats about lawyers and judges and how badly this was going to go for me. Not one single person acknowledged that she had violated an agreement. Not one person asked why she thought the rules did not apply to her. I opened my messages with Gregory and sent him a quick update. Her family and friends are circling the wagons. Lots of threats. Lots of social media drama. He responded within minutes. Good. Let them make noise. Every thread, every social media post, every attempt to paint you as the villain just gives us more evidence of harassment. Keep screenshots of everything. So that is what I did. Spent the next hour documenting every message, every call, every social media post. By the time I was done, the folder on my laptop had almost doubled in size. She had spent a week building a case against herself, and now her friends and family were helping her make it even stronger. Around 9, my phone rang one more time. Her number again. This time I answered. We need to talk. Her voice was different now. Not angry. Almost defeated. About what? This is getting out of hand. Can we just meet somewhere and figure this out? There is nothing to figure out. You violated the agreement. The bank restricted your access. If you want to dispute that, call your lawyer. Please. I just want to talk. No lawyers. No drama. Just us. I almost laughed. You made it drama when you posted about spending our money online. You made it drama when you ignored an agreement you signed. And now you want to talk because your cards do not work anymore. That is not fair. Sure it is. You made choices. This is what those choices look like. Silence on her end for several seconds. I did not think you would actually do this, she finally said. That is the problem. You did not think at all. You just assumed you could do whatever you wanted and there would be no consequences. You were wrong. I hung up before she could respond. The rest of the night was quiet. No more calls. No more texts. Just silence. I sat on my couch and realized something. For the first time in months, maybe years, I was not worried about what she was going to do next. Not anxious about the next argument or the next accusation or the next way she would try to make me feel guilty. I had set a boundary, enforced it, and let her deal with the results of her own behavior. Tomorrow would probably bring more drama, more calls from family members, more social media posts about what a terrible person I was. But tonight, I had peace, and that was worth more than any argument I could have won. Sunday morning, I woke up to radio silence. No calls, no texts, no social media posts from her. That should have been my first warning sign. Around 10, my phone rang. Mom again. Have you seen what people are saying online? No, I have been avoiding it. What? Well, it seems like the tide is turning. Remember her friend Autumn, who asked about the shopping spree? Yeah. She made her own post. Said she went back and looked at the timeline. Said something does not add up with the story being told. A bunch of mutual friends are commenting on it now. I opened social media and found Autumn's post. It was direct. Just want to put this out there. Some of you are calling this guy abusive for restricting access to their joint account. But literally 1 week ago, we all saw posts about a $4,000 jewelry spree using that same account. During a separation, with an agreement in place. Maybe get the full story before making judgments. The comments were interesting. People who had been defending her in earlier posts were suddenly quiet. Others were asking questions she clearly did not want to answer. Someone named Hadley wrote, "Wait, she spent $4K and then complained when the account got locked? That is not abuse, that is consequences." Another person, Spencer, said, "I went through a divorce last year. If my ex violated our agreement like that, my lawyer would have destroyed them in court." Her friend Mackenzie tried to defend her. "You do not know what she has been through. He has been controlling their whole marriage." But Autumn responded, "I have known them both for 6 years. He was never controlling. She just did not like being told no." I sat back and watched the conversation unfold. Did not comment. Did not like anything. Just observed. Around noon, my brother Elliot texted me. Her mom called Dad. She is furious. Wants to know who is spreading lies about her daughter. Nobody is spreading lies. People are just stating facts they personally witnessed. That is what Dad told her. She did not like that answer. An hour later, her father called me directly. First time we had spoken since the separation started. "We need to talk about this situation." "Okay, talk." "You have humiliated my daughter publicly. Embarrassed her in front of her friends. Cut off her access to money without warning. She humiliated herself. I just enforced an agreement she signed. She made a mistake. She used some money she should not have. That does not justify what you did." I felt my jaw tighten. She did not make a mistake. She made a choice. Then she bragged about it online. Then she played victim when there were consequences. Those are deliberate actions, not mistakes. She is my daughter. I will not sit here and let you paint her as some kind of villain. I am not painting her as anything. Her own post did that. Her own words. I just responded appropriately. He was quiet for a moment. "Her mother, and I think you should release the account. Let her have access again. Show some compassion." "No." "Excuse me." "No." She violated the agreement. Until the divorce is finalized and we split everything properly, that account stays restricted. If she needs money, she can use her own checking account. You are being unreasonable. I am being consistent. There is a difference." He hung up without saying goodbye. I was not surprised. What did surprise me was the call I got 20 minutes later from her cousin Bailey. We had always gotten along fine. Went to a few family events together over the years. "Hey, I know this is weird, but I wanted to reach out. Okay, I saw everything that went down online, and I just want you to know, not everyone in her family thinks you are the bad guy here." That caught me off guard. Appreciate that. She has always been like this. Ever since we were kids. Rules applied to everyone else, but not to her. My aunt and uncle always made excuses for it. Looks like she never grew out of it. We talked for a few more minutes. Bailey told me several family members were actually relieved someone finally stood up to her. That they were tired of watching her manipulate situations and play victim whenever things did not go her way. After we hung up, I felt something shift. This was not just about the money anymore. This was about years of behavior finally catching up with someone. Monday morning, Gregory called with an update. Judge reviewed our filing. Scheduled a hearing for Friday. She has been notified. What happens at the hearing? We present evidence of the violation. She presents whatever defense she has. Judge makes a ruling on how to proceed with asset division given the breach of agreement. How solid is our position? Extremely. She signed the agreement, violated it publicly, then tried to paint herself as a victim when consequences happened. Most judges I know would not have much patience for that. That afternoon, I got a text from an unknown number. Just a screenshot. It was from a group chat I was not part of. Her and 3 friends discussing their next move. The message that was highlighted said, "Maybe if I apologize and act like I did not understand the agreement, the judge will go easy." Someone in the group chat had sent me the evidence of her planning to lie in court. I forwarded it to Gregory immediately. His response was short. This just keeps getting better for us. Tuesday, she posted again. This time the tone was different. More subdued. Less victim, more reflective. Taking time to think about my choices and my part in how things fell apart. Growth is hard, but necessary. The comments were supportive, but cautious. People were not rushing to defend her like they had before. Wednesday, her friend Mackenzie unfollowed me on social media, then blocked me. I figured the friendship was over when she realized I had receipts for everything. Thursday evening, my phone rang. Her number. I almost did not answer, but something made me pick up. Tomorrow is the hearing. Her voice was small. Tired. I know. My lawyer says it is not going to go well for me. I did not respond. Just waited. I messed up. I know that now. I just thought the account was still half mine. I did not think it was that big of a deal. You thought wrong. Is there any way we can settle this before tomorrow? Work something out. That depends. Are you willing to accept responsibility for what you did? Or are you going to keep making excuses? Long pause. I take responsibility. Then show up tomorrow and tell the judge that. Answer honestly. Stop trying to manipulate the narrative. And if I do that, then maybe we can move forward with the divorce without more drama. But I am not backing down on the account restriction. You violated the agreement. That has consequences. She was quiet for several seconds. When she spoke again, her voice cracked slightly. I really thought I could just do what I wanted, that you would not actually follow through. I know. That was always the problem. You never thought I would set boundaries. After we hung up, I sat in my kitchen and felt something close to closure starting to form. Tomorrow would be the hearing. She would either own what she did or try to lie her way out. Either way, the evidence was clear. Her friends had mostly stopped defending her. Her family was divided. Her social media carefully crafted victim story had fallen apart under basic scrutiny. And I had not yelled once, had not posted anything online, had not played her games. I just let her actions speak for themselves. Turned out that was the most effective strategy all along. Friday morning arrived cold and clear. I got to the courthouse 30 minutes early. Gregory was already there, briefcase in hand, looking sharp, ready, as I will ever be. She showed up 15 minutes later with her lawyer. She looked tired, hair pulled back, minimal makeup, none of the confidence from those shopping posts. We did not make eye contact. The hearing itself was shorter than I expected. Gregory presented the separation agreement, showed the bank statements, pulled up her social media posts on a tablet, and walked the judge through everything. Her lawyer tried to argue that she misunderstood the agreement, that she thought she still had access to half. The judge was not buying it. Counselor, your client posted a comment specifically mentioning the joint account. She knew exactly what she was doing. Her lawyer shifted tactics, tried to paint it as a small mistake, an oversight. The judge looked at the numbers. $4,000 is not an oversight. Then Gregory dropped the screenshot from the group chat, the one where she discussed pretending not to understand the agreement. Her lawyer actually flinched. The judge took about 3 minutes to review everything. Then she looked at my wife directly. Did you sign this separation agreement? Yes, Your Honor. Did you read it before signing? A pause. Yes. And did you access the joint account knowing you had agreed not to? Another pause. Longer this time. Yes. The judge nodded. Then the restriction on your access stands. Furthermore, given the deliberate nature of this violation, I am ordering that all remaining funds in the joint account be transferred to a court-supervised account until final asset division. Neither party will have access without court approval. I saw her shoulders drop. The judge continued. I am also going to note this violation in the record. It will be considered when we finalize the divorce settlement. We left the courtroom 20 minutes later. Gregory was pleased. That went about as well as possible. The judge clearly was not impressed with her behavior. What happens now? We proceed with the divorce. But her credibility is damaged. Any claims she makes moving forward, the judge will question. She basically handed us leverage for the entire process. That evening, I got a text from Connor. Dude, she deleted all her social media accounts. All of them. Every single one. Instagram, Facebook, everything. Just gone. I checked. He was right. Every account was deactivated or deleted. The next day, her friend Autumn reached out. Just wanted to say I am sorry for how things went down. I believed her story until I looked closer. That was not fair to you. I appreciate that. For what it is worth, Mackenzie and a few others are not talking to me anymore. They think I betrayed her by asking questions. Those sound like the kind of friends who enable bad behavior. Yeah, I am starting to realize that. Over the next week, things settled into a new normal. The joint account was locked down. The divorce was moving forward. Her attempts to control the narrative had failed completely. My cousin Hudson told me her parents stopped bringing it up at family gatherings. My brother said her mother seemed embarrassed whenever anyone asked about it. The social media posts were gone, but screenshots lived forever. People remembered. 2 weeks after the hearing, I got one final text from her. I know you probably do not want to hear from me, but I wanted to say I am sorry. For all of it. You deserved better. I stared at that message for a long time. Part of me wanted to respond. Part of me wanted to just delete it. In the end, I typed back one sentence. I hope you learn from this. She never responded. And honestly, I did not need her to. The consequences had already taught the lesson. 3 months later, the divorce was finalized. The judge sided with me on almost everything. The violation of the separation agreement had consequences that rippled through the entire settlement. She walked away with less than she expected, and honestly, less than she would have gotten if she had just followed the rules. Her lawyer tried one last attempt to argue for a more favorable split, brought up years of marriage, contributions to the household, standard divorce talking points. The judge referenced the jewelry incident, the social media posts, the attempted deception. Your client demonstrated a pattern of dishonesty and disregard for legal agreements. That weighs heavily in asset division decisions. That was the end of it. I closed the joint account the day after the final hearing, transferred my portion to my personal checking. Felt like closing a chapter that should have ended years ago. My brother Elliot took me out for drinks that weekend. How does it feel to be officially done? Lighter. Like I can finally breathe properly. You handled that whole thing better than most people would have. Never saw you lose it once. Losing it would have just made things worse. She wanted me to be the angry ex, the controlling one. I refused to play that role. He raised his glass. To not playing games. We clinked glasses. Over the following weeks, I started noticing changes. Small things. I was sleeping better. Not checking my phone every 10 minutes worried about what drama was brewing. Not walking on eggshells wondering what would set off the next argument. Wait, scratch that last phrase. Let me rephrase. Not constantly tense wondering what would trigger the next fight. I reconnected with friends I had lost touch with during the marriage. Went to a basketball game with Connor and Garrett. Had dinner with my parents without the underlying stress of her complaints about them. One afternoon, my cousin Bailey called. Hey, just wanted to give you a heads up. She is apparently seeing someone new. Good for her. You are not bothered? Why would I be? We are divorced. She can do whatever she wants now. Wow, you really are over it. I was over it the moment she decided the agreement we signed did not matter. Everything after that was just paperwork. A month after the divorce, I ran into Autumn at a coffee shop. We talked for a few minutes. She told me Mackenzie and the others who defended her behavior had eventually distanced themselves too. Turns out when you enable someone long enough, you become the next target when they run out of other people to blame. That tracks. She tried to get everyone to take sides, but most people just wanted to stay out of it. The ones who looked at the facts came to their own conclusions. I thought about that conversation later, about how she had tried so hard to control the narrative, to make me the villain, to gather an army of supporters who would validate her version of events, and how it all fell apart the moment people actually looked at what happened instead of just listening to her story. 6 months post-divorce, I was in a completely different place. New routines, new goals, no drama, no manipulation, no wondering when the next crisis would hit. My coworker Silas asked me one day how I stayed so calm through everything. I learned something important. You cannot control what other people do, but you can control how you respond. She wanted chaos. I gave her consequences. She wanted me to look like the bad guy. I let her own actions tell the story. That is pretty wise. Nah, that is just what happens when you stop trying to win arguments and start setting boundaries. Looking back now, the whole jewelry incident was almost funny. She really thought she could spend thousands of dollars, post about it publicly, and face zero consequences. The entitlement was remarkable. But here is what she did not understand. Actions have weight. Agreements have meaning. And when you build your defense on lies, it only takes one person asking questions for the whole thing to collapse. I did not destroy her. I did not have to. She destroyed her own credibility by thinking rules were optional and then broadcasting that belief to everyone she knew. All I did was stand firm, let the evidence speak, and refuse to engage with the drama. Turns out that was enough. These days, I barely think about any of it. The marriage feels like something that happened to a different version of me. Someone who tolerated disrespect because he did not know how to set limits. I know now, and I will never go back to being that person again.